What's up, everybody? We're the Anti Villains. We are here today to review the hottest summer supervillain movie of the summer, The Suicide Squad. I'm here with my co-host Aaron and Martez. But before we get started, I want to do ask you guys a quick favor to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Also helps us find wonderful viewers like you. And let's get to the review. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. Happy to talk about this. DC finally starting to do what they supposed to do, man. So
Yeah.
I'm excited today. Yeah.
I
hmm
am
Yeah.
doing great. I mean, that movie actually lifted my spirits.
This is a non-spoiler review, by the way. So we're going to get into most of the topics within the movie. I'll make sure that if you guys want to see a spoiler review, we're going to release that a little bit later. Overall, as a movie, how did you think it was?
I know I'm going to get heat for this. I say my number one superhero movie is Captain America and the Winter Soldier. After a couple more watches, this might overtake that movie. I stood my ground and always say Captain America and the Winter Soldier is my favorite movie, favorite comic book movie. Yeah, it's the Suicide Squad. We got to throw the in front of it. The Suicide Squad might overtake Captain America for the
Mm.
Hmm.
simple fact, for one reason, they let
Wow.
the director do what he wanted to do. The studio did not get involved at all with this, and they
hmm
proved that he know the source material, he loved the books, and he was faithful to the characters.
As a film, it was funny. It was great. It was a good
hmm
movie. As a
hmm
comic book film, it was a love letter to anybody who read Task Force X, who read Suicide Squad, because the right from the beginning, tone is the most important word. The tone of this film is completely different than its
hmm
predecessor, and that's
hmm
important because the tone of the book is different than other DC titles in that universe, especially Gotham related titles or,
hmm
Batman adjacent titles. They're super serious, they're super dark.
hmm
And then the Task Force X Suicide Squad titles are not. They're
hmm
completely different because
hmm
at the end of the day, this is a team consistent of villains and supervillains or anti-heroes who are expendable.
Right.
And this movie knows that right from the beginning and lets you know that this is not the same movie. We fixed it.
hmm
And we
Yeah.
fixed it this time. And like you said, creative control is super important, especially when you have a director who's proven time and time and time and time again that I know what I'm doing with these characters because I love them. Let me have it. And they did. And he gave them gold. He gave them a gold medal. So this was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it started off well to me. I had to remind myself that this wasn't a superhero movie, and this is a movie about expendable villains. Because with all the gore and the killing, it brings you back to reality. It makes you like, dang, these guys do anything means anything that's necessary to get the job done. But overall, I think it was a great movie for a DC project, and kind of. I, if it wasn't for the villains, I wouldn't even recognize it as a DC project. You know what I mean? So it was more shot like a Marvel movie and more free and open like a Marvel movie rather than a DC movie because DC they're so serious a lot of the times when it comes to these movies. So I really liked the characters though. We can get into the characters right now. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
Aaron.
yeah. I wanted to tag on to what you said too.
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn warned people, and they didn't know what he meant. He meant that this is old school '60s Tarantinoized Dirty Dozen war movie. He
Mm-hmm.
specifically said war movie. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what added to it being a good movie because he had a goal, a vision, and he stuck to it. I want to see if you guys paid attention to the opening credits. Guess who executive produced it?
Wasn't it the guy from Ragnarok?
No, Zack Snyder.
Oh, Zack Snyder, he did. Wow.
Yes, so that's another slap in DC's face because
Mm-hmm.
I guess the rumors were true because they said he helped get James Gunn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these companies got to realize that Marvel realizes it. So
Right.
DC's finally getting on the bandwagon. Yeah, realize you have these directors who are renowned for a
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Mm-hmm.
These
Mm-hmm.
guys, they get renowned for a reason. You got to trust them. Why would you pay them millions of dollars and then not trust them? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So, and they decided to trust James Gunn, which was the best decision they've made over the past 15 years, aside from actually getting the Snyder Cut coming out. You know, I would even put this decision better than that decision to trust James Gunn to let him come out with a masterpiece for you. And now they got they got their flowers finally. They finally got a movie that they can fall back on.
And to tag on what Tez said, even James Gunn is on board with release the Ayer cut. Let him release the original version of Suicide Squad. Because he brought up a good point. Even with the quick cuts with the music, it didn't line up. You knew where the studio jumped in at. Release the original version because he kind of referenced it, and we're going to talk about it later. They referenced it, but didn't reference the original Suicide Squad because at the time we don't know how the original movie would have went.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It's it just was well done. And from a directing standpoint, cinematography, it does something that other DC movies just don't do. And that's two things. One, you can see. You can see everything. You can see the action. You can see colors. We can see colors, reds and blues and pinks and yellows. You can see, and there's color. And that's two things DC just don't do. They made Superman suit dark, not the black one, but his regular suit. They super darkened it and made it dark red and dark blue. This is Superman. You see him, he's supposed to show up, boom, I am justice and truth, and this bright blue, this really, really bright red logo, and this is full of color. And it's full of life. You can see the action in the scenes. It's not at all like a Bourne movie. No offense to Jason Bourne, but you can see the action. So I got nothing but good things to say about this movie, man. It's gonna be a kind of one-sided review.
Yes, you're right. No offense to Jason Bourne, but the fight scenes were quick cuts. You can't see the act. You can't see the choreography.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a lot of camera movements and everything too.
Now they did.
And once we get to the spoiler review, where we do the scene by scene in the spoiler review, I can't wait to talk about a certain scene, and I think you guys know since he brought up colors.
The crazy thing too, what made this movie was basically the characters, though. The characters, I think, especially with the development that they had, made the movie even better. My favorite character was Peacemaker. John Cena killed Peacemaker, and it wasn't just because of his comedic timing or his seriousness in the role. His blatant sarcasm completed the character, and he basically, because in the comic books he was a pacifist. He was committed to peace. He was also willing to use force as a superhero or supervillain or anti-hero to advance his cause. He didn't care. He doesn't care what he does to get the job done. If he has to kill a kid, if he has to kill an adult, if it's for the cause of justice, that's it.
And he said in the trailer, it's not it's not a spoiler because it was in the trailer. He was like a bag of dicks if it was on the beach for peace.
For peace.
Yes, he will.
Yes.
And since we're talking about character development, James Gunn, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Harley Quinn was another great one too.
And what I like is they pulled away from the whole, this is just these characters and that's it in the movie. Though there was a lot of focus on Bloodsport because he was technically team leader, everybody got a moment to shine. My favorite new character was Ratcatcher too. She was so interesting, she's like a millennial and she's lazy, but she's also really cool and she's actually kind of kind and sweet. And you kind of wonder, damn, why was she in Belle Reve in the first place? She's a really nice lady. And then King Shark. Sylvester Stallone is, I feel like he is blatantly coming after Vin Diesel.
But no, if you guys don't know who King Shark is, he's a metahuman criminal. He started off in not Aquaman. He started off in actually Superboy in a comic. He first showed up in Superboy.
And a lot of people might know him as a Flash villain because of the show.
Yes, because of the show. Yeah, but he was he's very sweet and an enduring character. He just slow mentally, and he just loves to eat. That's it, right? And that's how they portrayed him in the movie.
Now,
You know.
now, don't come at me with pitchforks. I'm more Marvel than DC, but I got more interested in King Shark watching Harley Quinn. Please watch the first 2 seasons. Third season's
Hmm.
next month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That show
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
amazing, especially if you're
Hmm.
looking for an animated show that does not have rating restrictions.
Hmm.
Pick Harley Quinn up today. It is
Yeah,
amazing. I agree
yeah.
110%. So, yep,
And
that's a
other characters that they had was Polka Dot Man, which he had a really big role, and he was hilarious within itself, not just because of his quirkiness, but just because of his powers is such a mystery. We're not going to spoil it for you here, but it's such a mystery because everybody's just like, hey, all he does is put polka dots on people, but you will see later in when you actually watch the movie of how much power he has. But
And
yeah,
can I give that man his flowers? He was in 3 DC properties. He was in The
yes,
Flash.
back
He
to
was
yeah,
back
in
to back.
Gotham. And
Mhm.
yeah,
then now he was in Suicide Squad because
yes.
of Denis Villeneuve was
Mhm.
talking to James Gunn, said, go ahead, use him. He was already in these
Yep.
DC properties. Just reuse him.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And go ahead, Tess.
And he technically was in Dark Knight, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was.
He
Key
was. He
role.
was. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
He had a very it was a minor role, but it was super important to the plot. You know,
Mhm.
he's not a stranger to this superhero thing. You know,
Mhm.
he helped Ant-Man. Even though we jump into Marvel, he helped Ant-Man and hit them two
Mhm.
movies. This guy's
Mhm.
top tier, and he shows that he knows what to do with
Trivia.
the character
Trivia. That's the only time he played a hero. Every time DC, he was a villain.
every time.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Every
Yep.
time this is his
Mhm.
first good role, and then
Anti-hero. Yeah.
and
Anti-hero role.
he has a mental disability that we won't get into deeply in this review. We'll talk in a spoiler review. This mental disability is an extremely hilarious plot point,
Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is.
and I
And,
love it.
and Polka Dot Man, he's not a hero. I know why he was in there. They blatantly said, well, not blatantly, but what happens gives you a clue why he's in
It
there.
tells you why he's there, and it's both hilarious and really messed up at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah. Yeah.
time. But
Yeah.
it's great when you find out why.
Mhm. And then you have yeah, Rick Flag. Obviously, he came back to be the leader, quote unquote, or half leader of the Suicide Squad. Then you had Mongol, Captain Boomerang came back, and you had Weasel, and everybody saw Weasel in the trailers, and obviously he's just there to be made fun of.
Creepy
So
bastard.
yeah,
And a
and he
role
looks
for his
really
brother,
creepy.
because his
Yeah.
brother's always in every movie.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sean Penn.
Just like Sam Raimi, brother.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
deal is he going to get tired playing furry creatures? Because he's the motion capture for Rocket Raccoon.
He
Yeah.
know his role, man. He like
Yeah.
my brother taking me along on this magical ride. I get
Hmm.
paid. I get to meet and hang out with the most famous people on the earth. I'll be the guy in the suit,
Hmm.
whatever. I don't
Hmm.
think he care, man. He like, hey, take me along for the ride.
And early breaking news right after it came out, because they released it early for his birthday yesterday, he did announce he is coming back to do unspecified DC movies.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I mean, maybe just build on the success of this one. You know what I mean? So let's go back to the plot. I think the plot was pretty much the same as the last one. You know, let's go in there, destroy whatever it is, and get out of there
It was
differently.
slightly different because the mission was on a need to know basis, and as
Hmm.
Amanda Waller would say, they didn't need to know because it
Hmm.
was actually
Yeah.
started with 2 teams.
If
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
if you can look at the plot as far as conflict comparatively to the original, you know, division we got, not the vision that this out there that we don't know about. What we got, you can only compare to what you got. It's
Yeah.
vastly different in the sense that the original movie's plot was we caused the damn threat that we have to
Hmm.
stop.
Hmm.
Period.
Hmm.
We recruited this witch
Hmm.
and we have to stop her. This one is there's a threat that I'm sending you to, but you don't know anything except
Right,
for
right.
I'm sending you to get this and
Hmm.
nothing else is. Like you said,
Hmm.
there's so many secrets that are going on. Some people
Hmm.
were in on it, some people were
Hmm.
not. Some people have
Hmm.
more knowledge than others. Some people
Hmm.
were there to literally be the little motherfuckers on the chessboard. And that's it.
Hmm.
And it though it is a hilarious movie and it is very light. This movie I would even call it a dark comedy before I call it a superhero movie.
Hmm.
It also does not shy away from uh the more espionage type things in the sense of having an overarching government organization that's lying to you, even while
Mhm.
you're on these missions, and everything just works.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's kind of hard to get into the plot because they kept it so secretive. Even the
Yes.
beginning of the movie is a spoiler. So
Yes. Yeah.
Tess
Yeah.
actually knocked everything out of the ballpark. If I
Mhm.
can compare this movie to anything, I was just talking with another buddy of mine that was doing a podcast off camera. Yeah, if I can
Mhm.
compare it to anything, it's DC's The Losers, if you remember that. Yep,
Mhm.
and the A Team,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
precisely.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
Tarantinoized version of those two. Tarantino.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Mhm.
is a great way to look at that. I agree with that 110% because
Mhm.
the plot points are exactly the same.
Mhm.
Even the premise, like when he's throwing the losers and the A team in there, you got this group of people who are expendable, or you have to take them out of jail
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
and put them on the field and hope that they get the mission done, and you don't care how many of them come back.
Yeah. 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 I mean, and let's go back real quick too, because we gotta go back into Idris Elba character, Bloodsport, because we didn't
Yeah.
talk that
Bloodsport,
much about him. Yeah. And where I think that they put in Bloodsport because obviously they didn't bring back Will Smith, so they had to have
Idris
another big
Elba.
name character in there, and then they put Idris Elba in there as Bloodsport, which are basically they're almost the same character, just two different personalities. And Bloodsport, um, well, let's put it like this: Bloodsport in this movie went to jail because he decided to try to assassinate Superman with a kryptonite bullet. Right? If you look at what happened with
comic accurate.
yeah, that's comic accurate because they would have probably, if they would have got Will Smith back, they probably would have used him in that spot.
I'm gonna chime in on this one. I respect James Gunn because he knew in
Yeah.
advance he couldn't get Will Smith, so
Hmm.
he tricked everyone. He made everyone think that Bloodsport was similar to Deadshot, but when you look at it, no, he's a jerk. He is a
Yes.
flat out jerk, and yeah,
Hmm.
he'll do anything for cash.
Hmm.
And yeah, the father daughter dynamic is
It's
way,
hilarious.
way antagonistic,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
not a
Yes. Yes.
spoiler because that's in the
Hilarious.
trailer.
Hmm.
Sport and his daughter's relationship are completely different than Deadshot and
Hmm.
his daughter. It is not a good
Antagonistic.
relationship. It's antagonistic. Deadshot and his daughter, even though he loves her, they don't like each other.
Hmm.
They don't like each other, and it's completely different. At the end of the day, Bloodsport is not a good guy, and Deadshot sort of is. They're both assassins, but Deadshot has like morals and stuff. He
You
has
see,
rules.
you see what I mean by it's tough talking about the plot because any more will spoil it outside the trailer. Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's only one other thing that we can mention without spoiling it. He cares about his family because you saw what he did to Waller
yeah,
when she threatened him, saying she's going to go to Belle Reve if you don't do this.
yeah. And he loves his family, but also he doesn't have the same set of rules that Deadshot has. And so they are different characters. Their personalities is different, and thankfully, having a good actor like Idris Elba, he was able to show I'm not just this movie's Deadshot. I'm something completely different.
Man,
Especially with his tech, which I'm not going to get too deep into in this one, but his tech is amazing.
All right. So, if anything, I do want to go into at least one of the flaws of the movie for me. If there's anything bad for me to say about the movie, I think it's probably that I think the characters that they chose for this movie, some of them, a lot of them, were too hardcore comic booky. Like you had to be a really good comic book nerd to actually know who a lot of these characters were. Some of them were instant if you weren't a comic book fan, like Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, Captain Boomerang. If you watched a couple shows, you would know who he is. But some of these guys were just really deep Easter eggs in the comic books for a comic book lover. So that's the only thing for regular people that's watching this movie. You probably won't recognize anybody in this movie. I'm not saying that the movie's not fun, and the movie wouldn't be fun to you, but it would be like, yeah, I don't recognize anybody else but Harley Quinn because that's only recognizable person that I've seen if I'm not a comic book fan. So, go ahead.
that's why I appreciate you, Jay, because we're opposite. That's
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn's trademark. But
Mm-hmm.
when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, who
Mm-hmm.
really knew about Drax? Who knew
Yeah,
Nobody
no
about
knew.
matter.
Rocket?
Yeah,
They didn't
Nobody
mm-hmm.
even
knew
use
who.
the original lineup.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they didn't. They didn't because the original lineup was damn Ravagers
Mhm. Mhm.
for the
Mhm.
most part. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
James Gunn's trademark. He liked to bring
Mhm.
these obscure characters don't nobody know about and make them famous.
In the
Yes.
interview, if you watch the interview, DC wanted him to use more name recognizable characters, like in the animated movies. He said, "No, I want to
Yeah.
do it like the original comic book."
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, because he loved that comic book, and
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
It's
Yeah.
a good book.
Yeah.
And you're
Mhm.
right, it is some obscure characters. There's a cameo right at the beginning in jail that I'll talk about during the spoiler review. Uh
Mhm.
James Gunn's brother plays the character. I laughed out loud when I saw this guy. I was like, I
Mhm.
cannot believe they put him in there. That's how obscure
Mhm.
this one was, this kind of
Yeah.
cameo. And
Yeah.
it was so comic accurate the way he looked and everything. This movie, it touches all bases because it's a good film. It's directed well, and the action's good for, like you to say, the fans who don't maybe know who some of these obscure characters are. But if
Right.
you do know, if
Right.
you've been reading these books, it's like he made this movie for you
Mhm.
specifically.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it hits you right in the feel. You're like, oh man, you really did read this like I did. You know, so
Mhm.
it though it is in some parts, like you say, not as catering to the
Yeah.
casual fan. The
Yeah.
rest of the movie's direction and action and just overall goodness is for
Yeah.
the casual fan. So
Yes.
anybody
Yes.
can pick it up and look at it.
Mhm.
It's so hard to nitpick this movie because
Mhm.
it was good, bro. It was just
Mhm.
really good. So
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I feel weird. I'm used to talking trash about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
James Gunn did his job. He's making people
Mhm.
pick up the comic book and learn about these obscure
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Drax was not popular at all.
No,
Nobody
he
knew who
Zip
wasn't.
Drax
Silch.
was, man. And
Mm-mm.
nobody know who
Mm-mm.
Drax was if you wasn't reading Infinity Guard or these
Mhm.
big galactic conflict movies where
Mhm.
Drax was part of the Infinity Watch, and him
Mhm.
and Warlock and Moondragon. These names I'm saying people don't even know. Don't
I,
But
nobody
not
know
I,
not
who.
only
I
not
said,
only that about. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say before just 1 second before we jump back into DC, Diamond Hansu was us in Guardians of the Galaxy. Who?
Mhm.
Star Lord? Who?
Who are you?
Right.
Who are you? I have
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
idea who you are. And he made these people names.
Yeah.
Like
But
he's.
not only that he brought these obscure characters in here, he casted the right people to play them,
Thank
right?
you.
And
Yes, he did.
that the thing is that if these characters, and crazy thing is that they're wrestlers. Drax is Batista, and
He did
what
it
is the other
twice.
guy's name?
He's done it
Right.
John
twice with
Cena.
Yes,
wrestlers.
John Cena is Peacemaker, right? So it's like you casted wrestlers to do what they do best, and that's act a character out. You know
Be
what I mean?
superheroes.
Yes.
Wrestlers
Yep.
have been superheroes at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day
Mm-hmm.
since 19 whenever when wrestling started with the WCCCCCW,
Yeah.
like way back in the
Mm-hmm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
And they're larger than life
Mm-hmm.
characters who you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to either root for or hate.
Mm-hmm.
What does that
Mm-hmm.
sound like? Villains and
Yes.
heroes. They're
Yep.
built to
Exactly.
be these characters, and it
Yep.
just so happens that Batista and Cena can act.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they're really
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
good at, especially Cena, who this is going to be my controversial statement for today.
Uh-oh. Here we
Aaron got
go.
his out the way. I do
Mm-hmm.
think Cena has the potential to overtake The Rock as the best
Wow.
wrestler turned actor. I think he
Oh.
has the potential. And this is why when John Cena's in a movie as a character, John Cena is recognizable as Cena, but he plays that character and the character is the character. When The Rock is in a movie as a character, it's The Rock.
Mm.
Every time.
I'm gonna
Mm.
back you up on that one because I was on the fence. Fast Nine, it's like, oh no. But then I saw this and it restored my faith in Cena. Because you have to admit, there were some scenes in Fast Nine where you're just shaking your head at John Cena, like, this is really supposed to be Vin Diesel's brother. But yeah, that's the fault of the director after seeing the Suicide Squad. And thank God Batista backed John Cena to James Gunn.
No, but
Mhm.
I definitely can agree with that. The Rock plays The Rock in every movie. Basically, his character that he's playing is a side note. It's all whenever you see The Rock, it's The Rock. Period. At least to me, in every movie is. John Cena has done some character development for his characters at least a little bit, but I disagree with you that he's going to pass him up because John Cena can only do so much, just like The Rock, as far as their acting range. And John Cena is going to get stuck in that box to where John Cena is going to be playing a different version of himself, just like
I
The Rock.
don't
I don't
know,
know, because he
man.
did do
I
a couple
don't
of
know.
dramas.
He can
Huh?
do drama. Cena can do drama. Cena can do drama. He can make you feel. The
Mhm.
Rock don't make you feel nothing except for what he cooking, bro.
Once the I hate to say it, and this is my controversial statement. Look like we're all full of them. Thanks, Tez. Yeah, here comes the pitchforks. The Rock is our generation's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're
I
not
can agree with
wrong,
that.
bro.
Yeah,
You're
you're not
not
wrong. Yeah, I can
wrong.
agree with that.
You're
Mhm.
not wrong about that. You know, the difference is you can understand what he's saying.
Oh, kudos
Yes.
to James Gunn for Sylvester Stallone. This is the clearest. I'm sorry, this is the clearest I heard him. Sylvester Stallone in the movie.
Mhm.
Fascinatingly so.
Mhm. Yeah.
The
But I
shark.
mean, there wasn't that much he had to do anyway. So, and there were so many people that was in Guardians of the Galaxy that was in this Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah,
Did you see everybody that was basically
there were
in that movie that
cameos.
was in here? There was
There were
plenty
cameos. There were
plenty
cameos
of
at the
people.
bar. We'll get onto
Mhm.
them in spoiler
Yeah,
territory.
with
But
spoilers.
yes,
Yeah,
some of
Yeah.
those
yeah.
cameos
Those
you
are
notice,
Easter
you're like,
eggs.
oh, look, it's such and such. And that's cool.
Mhm.
Another
You
thing,
know?
Yeah.
this movie made Disney. The reason why they got James Gunn back, it wasn't because of we were wrong. James Gunn revealed in an interview yesterday that Kevin Feige and Alan Horn, the producer of the Marvel movies, were on set of the Suicide Squad to check
Mhm.
up on Gunn and see how he's doing. And
Mm.
he hid most of the plot from them. He's like, "Yeah, you're my
Mm.
former bosses, but you ain't seeing what's going on here.
Right,
I'm doing what I
exactly.
want to do."
Duh. Right. Exactly.
They was concerned, man, because you don't want to lose one of your best directors.
Yeah, but
Like,
No.
whatever they saw, they hired him back 2 weeks later. They
Yeah,
didn't see something
have.
like that.
especially his creative mind. And when we get, like I said, like we said, when we get to the spoiler review, we're gonna explain everything to a T. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, subscribe. If you like our content, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it and comment and tell us how we did. It really helps the channel. We answer all the questions that you guys ask. Stay tuned for the spoiler review, where we'll get into the Easter eggs, theories, and everything else. All right. I am Jacob, that's Tez, and that's Aaron. Thank you guys for watching.